Hello everyone. Today our group number 17 is going to perform experiment about the quantum wave interference. Myself Prashant Kumar, and these are our group members Divyanshu Prajapat, Rajat Singh and Siddharth Gautam from the Tirupati IIT Vadodara International Campus team. And in this presentation we are going to discuss about the experiments and its related concepts that we are going to use in this experiment, and also we are going to see how different waves get interfere with each other, and what the result can be observed, what the result can be concluded. And beside all these things, we also going to see what can be observed in this quantum world. So let's go on the second ppt. Introduction to quantum mechanics and the interference. Here we are going to discuss some differences between the quantum mechanics and the mechanics, and going to see how interferences can get occur by using the different types of the waves, different colors, different frequencies. Quantum mechanics is a fundamental theory in physics that provides a description of the physical properties about nature at the scale of atoms and subatomic particles. It means when we are going to discuss about the quanta levels, it means we are going to discuss at atomic levels, at a discrete levels. And as we know from all the time, history of the quantum world is mysterious. As we can see from the Planck's time and young Thomas, Einstein, these are the scientists who gave us a lot of idea in this quantum world, that how we think, how we can perform, how can we use in in different applications. It is the foundation of all the quantum physics, including quantum chemistry, quantum field theory, quantum technology, and quantum information sciences. Let's see something about the interference. It is a phenomenon in which two waves superpose to form a resultant wave of either a greater amplitude, either a lower, or of the same amplitude. These all variations depends on what type of waves we are going to choose, what types of source we are going to choose. As we can take coherent sources, we can take incoherent sources, we can take waves of the same frequencies, different colors, same colors. So generally two types of the interferences occur: constructive interference and destructive interference. These interferences result from the interaction of the waves that correlated or coherent with each other, either because they come from the same source or because they have the same or nearly the same frequency. Constructive interference occurs when the phase difference between the waves is an even multiple of pi, whereas the destructive interference occurs when the difference is an odd multiple of pi. If the differences between the phase is intermediate between these two extremes, then the magnitude of the displacement of the interfered waves, or the sum waved or the resultant wave, lies between the minimum and the maximum values. So let's go with some experiment. Here we are performing three experiments: high intensity, single particle, and two laser experiment. In You can see the layout of the our experiment. Here the ruler from which can be used to measure our screen, and the time averaged intensity. Here copy screen. Yeah, you can see one by one everything. Just see layout of our experiment. In high intensity, we are going to bombard the photons, electrons, and neutrons in a significant number, in a significant amount. And in single particle experiment, One by one, protons, electrons, or neutrons is bombarded to see the particle nature of the light, to see the particle nature of the wave. And in two lasers, having a two different sources from which we can observe how they can interfere when we using same colors, when we using different colors, when using barriers, and when we use detectors, then what ionization percentage can be observed. And here is a screen to show the average intensity that help us to visualize the wavy nature of the wave. And other one is to show the hits on the screen, means we are going to observe particle nature of the light. Now let us perform one experiment. Here we use barriers in this experiment. You can see here in this on this screen, this is our screen. Here we can see this is the bright part and this is the fade part. This is due to constructive interference and this is the destructive interference. Now we use the barrier and now we can see the changes. Here we can get fade part and here we have a bright part. Now let us copy this screen to get difference. What can we get difference from these two? In this case we have no barrier, and in this case we use barriers. You can observe what the difference is and where the destructive interference occur and where the constructive interference occurs. Let us get some overview about the potential barrier. And here we can use a square barrier or rectangular barrier. By using this rectangular shapewise barrier, only only we get there the faded part and the bright part will get changed. Potential barrier is a standard one-dimension problem that demonstrates the phenomena of wave mechanical tunneling. Wave mechanical tunneling is a phenomena in which wave function propagates through a potential barrier and wave mechanical deflection. This is about the potential barriers. So let's go on to detector to see how they detect. This is our experiment. You can see here where here we use the red color, and you can see here percentage of the ionization that detector detects. Actually detector measure the ionization, and this ionization is due to the interaction of alpha, beta and the gamma radiations with matter produce positively charged ions and electrons, and these detectors produce an observable output to us. And so go on the next experiment, that is the double slit experiment.
My name is Divanshu Prajapat. Now I will explain about double slit experiment. In modern physics, the double slit experiment is a demonstration that light and matter can display characteristics of both classically defined waves and particles. Moreover, it displays fundamentally probabilistic nature of quantum mechanical phenomena. This type of experiment was first performed using light by Thomas Young in 1801 as a demonstration of the wave behavior of light. There is a graph plotted between intensity and the phase difference of a light of a source. We can easily see that if the phase difference between the lights of a source is even multiple of pi, such as 2 pi, 4 pi, 0, minus 2 pi, then a constructive interference has been observed and a bright fringe on the screen is appeared. But if the phase difference between two lights of a source is odd multiple of pi, such as pi, 3 pi, minus pi, then a destructive interference has been observed and dark spot will be appeared on the screen. The aim of this experiment is to observe interference pattern with the photon beam in a double slit experiment. Let's see this experiment with a green light. Here we can see interference pattern, and after some time it is more clearly visible. Observation. Interference pattern that we observed with photon beam is similar to that we observe in case of light waves. The aim of this experiment is to observe interference pattern in double slit experiment on changing wavelength. We know that fringe width is equals to lambda into capital D by small d, where lambda is the frequency of particle and capital D is the different distance between slit and screen. Let's find fringe width of interference pattern. Wavelength of yellow light is 580 nanometer, small d is 525 nanometer, and capital D is 1250 nanometer. Fringe width measured from scale given in simulation is 1293 nanometer. Let's try it with formula. Fringe width is equals to lambda by d, and the answer with formula is 1380 nanometer. Error analysis. Least count of nanometer scale is 200 nanometer, which is mentioned in virtual lab. Here fringe width is equals to lambda by d. We can see the formula to calculate the error. Let's perform this experiment in virtual lab. Here we can see the difference between blue, green, and red light. Here we can easily see the difference between the interference pattern of blue, green, and red light. Observation. On increasing wavelength, fringe width also increases.
Now, the aim of this experiment is to observe interference pattern with electron beam double slit experiment. The electron is from atomic particle represented by E or theta. Whose electrical charge is negative and elementary charge. Electrons show the transformation of the deeper particles family and are simply small to the elementary particles because they have the known components of certain structure. And the figure shows that when we fire electron from a gun by adding a double slit, we can see interference pattern. Near about 4 to 5 changes we can observe on the screen. It is for all. For for this, you can say that for electron, proton, neutron, this kind of fringes is formed. Mostly the animation part, the fringes is formed by this process. Okay? Especially dim and very dim. Firstly, then the electron is fired from the double slit and it reaches to the screen. We can see how the screen gets transformed. Okay, now then we can tell control it, we can change the control its velocity and we can also change. We can change the screen brightness, average intensity, and the first screen is formed by this screen. We can see dotted light screen. And the second screen is formed by this, and the last we can see very dark thing, about 4 to 5. So the observation is a fresh pattern observed with electron beam, same as we observe in case of atom photon. These are the particles from the quantum world who their wavelength and bandwidth are near about same. And means that because of their wavelength range, so the interference pattern and phases will almost the same. Means near about 4 to 5 phases for every photon, electron, and a neutron.
Hello everyone, my name is Raj Singh and I am going to perform next experiments. Aim of our experiment is to observe pattern on screen when we fire single electrons one by one in double slit experiment with one slit blocked. Imagine that you are throwing tennis ball at the wall. Some will bounce off the ball, but some will travel through the slits. If there is another ball behind the first, the tennis ball that have traveled through the slits will hit it. If you mark all the spots where a ball has hit, you will observe a pattern that is roughly the same shape as the slits. Now we are going to perform experiment. We will add a barrier at one slit to block it, and we will then fire electrons one by one. If we fire more and more electrons, we will observe a pattern like this. We observe that on firing single electrons through one slit, they form a pattern similar to pattern that we observed when we fire some big object like tennis ball through one slit. Aim of our experiment is to observe pattern on screen when we fire single electrons one by one in double slit experiment. In the previous experiment, we observed that on firing single electron through one slit, they form a pattern similar to pattern that we observe when we fire big object through one slit. So what do you think we will observe when we fire single electrons in double slit? Let's see. We begin our experiment. When we fire electrons one by one, first we will find that electrons are hitting randomly on the screen. But as more and more electrons hit the screen, we'll find pattern interference pattern. This interference pattern is similar to that we observed in case of light and electron beam and photon beam. So if we fire single electrons one by one through double slit, we will observe the same interference pattern that we obtained earlier in case of electron beam and in case of light. Explanation behind this is it is believed that a single particle when reached near the slit breaks into two parts like waves, and after passing through slits both parts interfere with each other to hit the screen like a particle. It is also shown in this figure. A single particle break into two parts and pass through both the slits and then interfere with each other like wave and hit the screen. Aim of our next experiment is to observe pattern on the screen when we fire single electrons in the double slit in the presence of detectors. Aim of our next experiment is to observe pattern on the screen when we fire single electron in double slit in the presence of detectors. To find out electron pass through which slit we place detectors after each slit. The result we got surprised everyone. From the experiment, we place two detectors after each slit and fire electrons one by one. As more and more electrons hit the screen, we will see a pattern. This pattern is similar to the pattern that we have earlier observed when we fire tennis ball through double slit. So we observe that if we place a detector before or after each slit, then the interference pattern that we are observing earlier is lost, and we obtain a pattern similar to that we observe in case of big object like tennis ball, and we will find that electrons are actually passing through only one slit at a time. Explanation behind this is it is believed that when we try to observe the path of electron, its wave function collapses and it starts behaving like a particle. This video also shows that if we fire an electron and try to observe it using a detector, its wave nature collapses and it starts behaving like a particle. It travels through one slit and hit the screen.
We are going to discuss about the interference pattern when we use two coherent sources with different or same wavelength. Here we can see wave 1 and wave 2 having the same amplitude, and in both cases we are taking the same amplitude, but here same wavelength and here different wavelength. when we are going to interfere of the same wavelength, we see here the pattern that we get observed. Here in this case, in this is the constructive interference that in this interference our amplitude get increases, and that amplitude is of course double of each of them. But when we are going to, in this case, this is the destructive interference, and when we interfere these waves, then we get that both waves cancel out each other and there no interference can be seen here. As we discussed little about the constructive interference and destructive interference in previous PPTs in the terms of the phase angle, that when we have a phase angle in the terms of the even multiple of the pi, then that will be the constructive interference, while in the case of odd multiple of pi, that is the destructive interference. And we are going to discuss in the terms of the lambda, that is the wavelength. When two coherent sources in the form of the lambda n lambda, then the waves interfere constructively, and if the distance difference is in the form of n plus 1 by 2 lambda, then the wave interfere destructively, where n is 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. And lambda is that the smallest of the two wavelength that we are going to interfere with each other. And then let's have some experiment. Here we are going to do experiment with the same color and the different color based on the different wavelength and the same wavelength. Here we have two different colors using having the different wavelengths, and if we can see here, there's no observed pattern can be seen on the screen as we discussed just in above PPT. So let us clear the screen for next ongoing, and in that case we are taking the same wavelength, that is the same color. Let us start. Yeah, you can see here we have same color, means same wavelength, and we can see here how interference pattern can be observed on the screen. And let's copy this screen here, and now you can observe the differences between them. This is the case of the destructive interference that we discussed just above, and this is the case of the destructive interference that we discussed. Let's see here, this is the destructive interference pattern that we observed, and this is the constructive interference pattern that we observed. This is a type of bright fringes, and this is the what dark fringes. Let's go on next, that what is observed by us by seeing those experiment is that when we use two coherent sources of different wavelength or color, we did not get obtain any interference pattern. But when they have the same wavelength or this having the same color, they form an interference pattern, as we see in both of the experiment.
So what we have concluded from this one is that vortical particles such as electrons somehow combine characteristics of particles and characteristics of waves. If these they travel like is double nature, dual nature. The act of observing or measuring a quantum system has a profound effect on the system. As we go accurate and deep accurate with that on these results, we can see that our results will match near about equal to the standard result of the work. In quantum mechanics, when we try to measure anything, the wave is to collapse. And in the width directly proportional to the lambda. When we increase, the wavelength, the fringe width is also increased. It is directly proportional to the fringe width. And for every means electron, proton, neutron, for this particle, this that is proportional to the lambda. Two current sources can interfere only if they have the same wavelength. Application of quantum mechanics. Quantum insertion. Quantum entanglement is physical phenomena in which photon pairs are generated such that the quantum state of each photon cannot be described independently of the state of the other. It has many applications. Quantum information theory, including quantum cryptography. Quantum computers. Today's tenets of quantum techniques have so much to include. Even we are, I am making this PPT by using quantum computers. But these are held by the suppliers from their data is collection and by this we are doing this construction. Weather prediction, storm prediction, tsunami. Most of these supercomputers are used. Quantum computers tap with data transfer of high sensitivity sensors. Quantum mechanics properties such as superposition and entanglement are fundamental to many of tomorrow's technical systems. In the next 5 to 10 years, we can see the wide range in growth of quantum computers. And in every field, quantum computers will take part. Atomic clock, the strontium of the lattice clock ideally works by resting an ultra-stable clock using two lasers. Two lengths of strontium atoms. Strontium is one of the major high frequency substances which is called a factor of 101. Yeah, large 1018 would be. This clock is advantage the lower quantum supersession noise of a